Hi and welcome to another LaneSmash match. Today we have wrong. We have PTSD versus GSG on the same lane as you've just seen RSPC and OP play. I am your host Dotsar, and tonight with me is Dubness.
Good evening.
As we are on a 3-minute delayed timer, I'm going to hold back for now to show you the force composition. So what we're going to do now is just go through the lane, essentially.
Yeah, so it's a really standard lane, to be honest. There's not many different things you can do on this lane. There's only a few options. For example, Chimney Rock, right? Most teams will get Sunderers around the point area and then try to do an infantry hold once they get blown up. Other teams might drive a couple of tanks down there to destroy the other team's Sunderers, as we just saw in our last match, RSPC doing that very effectively against OP. And it's pretty simple, right? Like you have
The match starts in 5 minutes. The match starts in 5 minutes.
5 minutes to go. You have a stealth Sunday like on the one side of the rock, either side of the point. And it's really just cut and dry now. It's very much going through the motions. Chimney Rock, maybe hack the vehicle terminal, maybe you don't. If you're at the Thomas starting side, which today is GSG's for the first half, you have an easier time getting your Sunderers and other vehicles to Chimney Rock than you do if you're coming from Heyoka, which is of course PTSD's starting side.
So on this lane, Chimney Rock Depot is the neutral base on this lane. So that means that both factions can capture this, and not one faction will have that from the start. So you will initially see both teams converge on this base from the north and the south, and they will compete against each other to capture this base. And then they will move either north or south depending on whichever faction captures it. I believe we have PTSD in the north and GSG in the south.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams will start from their respective tech plants essentially, and the teams are not allowed to go past the boundary of the hex essentially. And when we look from the Heyoka northern part of the lane, we see that they have essentially a bridge-like system going past Heyoka Chemical. And the very much interesting thing about this base is that the bridges aren't solid, they are hard-light. So perhaps we'll see the NC get an infiltrator here, hack out the bridge, and just prevent the TR from rolling down this road. Alternatively, we have seen factions in the past using this little archway here to circumvent that bridge problem altogether. The Chimney Rock itself, obviously Chimney Rock because the big ass rock that inhabits it, we will either see both factions compete for control of the main road that separates both Heyoka Chemical and Chimney Rock. From the south, another bridge which leads all the way down to Tumor Skylance Battery. Quite a clear run for NC here. They don't have any sort of environmental obstacles to overcome, and both the bridges on this side of the map are very solid and can't be hacked. So you could say that the south has that clear advantage to that kind of thing, but it all depends on whether or not NC are going to go to Heyoka Chemical and disrupt that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
We saw last game that the southern faction managed to get their Sunderers on first, so it'll be quite interesting to see if both teams do go down this road.
Yeah, I expect a strong showing from GSG. They have, because there's less than 3 minutes to go, they do have a Sunderer along with 4 Vanguards. They have a Valkyrie, which is quite uncommon in an opener at least, so that'll be interesting to see what they do with that. Maybe to go take control of the vehicle terminal. Otherwise, it's all Reavers. It's also worth pointing out, this is also GSG's last match in the group stage. They currently are second. That's before taking the result from earlier with RSPC. And to be honest, they've had they had a
1
rocky
minute.
tournament life. They lost to RSPC 6-0. Then they beat Voon 6-0. And then they drew with OP 0-0. So an interesting bag of results for GSG. While PTSD have a stronger looking opener, and also they have had a stronger looking tournament life, right? They beat RSPC 2-0, they beat Voon 6-0, and now I think if they beat GSG, they should be fine for the rest of the tournament.
As we enter the final 30-second before match start, we see TR ESS rising from the tech plant, ready to go. We see quite a heavy use of mosquitoes and quite a heavy use of prowlers and a liberator in support. Will these prowlers go across this bridge and will they be contested? 10 seconds until start.
Yeah, so I expect
5,
PTSD
4,
to win this.
3,
What about yourself, Dotso?
2, 1, mid-start.
I have just started the clock on my end there, and we see TR straight off the bat going quite slow across the heavy chemical. Liberator rises to join the mosquitoes. Prowlers heading across the hardlight bridges. Will we see an NC contention? We see the Prowlers stop to destroy the vehicle terminal. This would have been a perfect opportunity to get that bridge, but I don't think the NC would get here just in time now. Although in the previous game I was hoping to see at least one of the vehicles get slam dunked into the river. As we fast forward now towards the Chimney Rock, we see an air battle ensuing between the Reavers and the Mosquitoes. Quite an extensive air battle, as a matter of fact. If I just pan out here, you will see the actual extent of this. So this is unlike the previous game where we just mainly saw a one-sided air affair. Neither team has landed onto the A point yet. We do see one dead TR on the capture point, and NC have arrived by drop pod. So I think this first initial cap will go to NC in terms of flipping the point, but we don't really see any sort of cohesive TR presence yet. NC using a beacon to cohesively form up onto this building here.
Yeah, this is quite unorthodox. It's pretty strange. Not many teams will do this sort of forward hold because of the way the air is gonna farm you as you run back to the point. They actually got here originally by that Valkyrie. They just got here, now they're just standing here, and boom! Already the first casualty to air to ground, bansheed, right outside that building.
We do see quite a lot of NC Vanguards on the southern side of the bridge, completely ignoring the small TR Prowler column coming down the road. Oh, quite a good flank here by TR Prowlers on the eastern side. They managed to essentially put NC into a vice both from the bridge and the eastern side.
Yeah, okay, Champ about to lose his Vanguard there. Great pincer movement going on from the TR armor right now. They've got 2 Prowlers on the bridge, and then 3 Prowlers up on the high ground on the hill. And well, if you've got the high ground, you know not to try it.
It's quite curious to see that NC are holding up within this building, using beacons as like a hard point, if you will. Maybe they're going to wait in that building, waiting for the TR to push up that little dirt track and potentially ambush any sort of TR push.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. Currently unsure as to where the TR are really going to be pushing in from. Currently they've got a Sunrise stealth Sunday to the northwest on the other side of the big rock, and a one lonely Max just running around unsure about what he wants to do.
Because this is the thing, if TR do have air superiority here, they can keep NC in that building, and we see here the Mosquitoes are straight onto it. As soon as they leave the safety of that building, they are getting law podded. But at the same time, TR don't have a beacon up, they don't have a spawn here, they can't reinforce that one TR trying to contest the point.
Oh man.
But with that air support, he does manage to survive, essentially, going in there with the underboss. He's actually doing a very good job soloing this point, but if that was Mosquitoes, one Mosquito goes down. He does have...
Yeah. This is actually quite a good play, I think, from PTSD. They got the NC's attention to make them come back towards the point. And if you just look over to the southwest, there's 3 Sundays and a Lightning about to become running up this road. And that's going to cause a lot of issues for GSG, who are already getting ground pounded out in the open a little bit.
But it was good to see PTSD. Those Musketeers must have seen those guys in that building. They weren't giving away their position, trying to take out the ESF. And those Musketeers just waiting for that moment to pounce. We do see NC do have beacons on the roof of the A point. We don't see any sort of a beacon from the TR, but they do have these Sunderers. Still having Musketeers on the air to support.
Yeah, those Mozzies are going to be hell for the NC as they try to hold on to that point now.
But
I'm not
NC do have the
maxes.
NC do have the beacon though, and the building they were previously at. They could squad spawn on that beacon, land on the roof, and then just decimate these Sunderers.
No, you're quite correct. Or perhaps even you use C4 might be a bit more efficient because you want to get them rid of them ASAP, right? But the second you drop, you're just going to get bansheed. So unless you've got a lot of people dropping, you're going to have issues. And if you look at the inside of the point, there is nowhere safe from the cheese at the moment. There are so many dead NC in this point building.
But this is the thing though, all these vehicles are focused on the A point. This will be a perfect time to use the alternative beacon to really try and take out as many vehicles as they can, because they can't do anything from the A point.
Conk goes in from the TR onto the point. And one passer pushes in, Michael pushes
40
in.
seconds on the clock. Will we see this very desperate NC defense hold out?
I mean, it
Res
depends
goes
how
out.
many Mercedes they have left. Like, that, it genuinely depends how many Mercedes they have left, if they're using flak armor or not. And grenades have just got into that safe corner. Oh, off we go down.
And we have seen that so many times where vehicles will push these doorways, will push these windows, and we see the only safe places are in these corners. And we've seen it in previous games where people will just congregate in that same corner and they're just asking to get C4 or grenaded.
Dotso, do you see what I'm seeing? We're seeing anti-infantry maxes.
But they're not burster maxes, they don't count. It's just like...
Oh, it doesn't matter, it's a dual mercy max, it's so powerful. God bless that, man. Like, and that's what's really going to cause, you know, GSG the issues in the point hole.
So on my screen, the right hand of the max had a shell attached to it, and there's a graphical bug, which is quite interesting to see. A TR Prowler, these Prowlers and Lightning should turn around now and try and contest that southern bridge, because as we see here, GSG have a few harassers and they're just going to keep pumping away at the backside of these Prowlers. But it's the thing that these vehicles can be used now to push onto Tumor Skylands, at least at the halfway point, just to prevent the NC from bringing any vehicles up. But it does seem that PTSD have a few Musketeers and a Liberator dealing with those vehicles in the distance. They are really punishing any sort of regrouping efforts of the NC, and we do see these TR vehicles slowly moving down across the bridge and making their assault onto Tumor Skylands. The problem... Sorry?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So I was going to say that, again, in this match and the last match, we do see the faction stealing the cap in the last 10 seconds, essentially. So all the work done was done by GSG, and TR simply just take it.
Yeah, it's very common with the neutral bases that's going to happen. We see in the last match, Thomas Skylands Barry was quite difficult for RSPC to take. I wonder now if they're going to have, if PTSD are going to have the same issues. They've delivered the maxes, they've got vehicle control around the base, they have air control, so that's not an issue. And now if you look to the northeast at Skylance, the push from the TR is coming in.
We do see another TR max pushing around the I building, ready to go onto point. Not many NC on the point, ready to receive this TR push here.
So that
Two
push
maxes
is
go in, one engineer to spot both of these maxes. All they have to do is focus this engineer, because these maxes can't capture this point. Kill the engineer, and the engineer goes down. These maxes cannot capture this point, but they are backed up by two more skinny TRs. It would have been quite funny to see these maxes push in and not be able to capture the point. The point is flipping to PTSD right now, but it's quite interesting to see that there's still an NC population at Chimney Rock. So it makes me wonder what sort of option they have here to bring this all back into the fight. And we do see quite a few NC actually pushing onto point at Chimney Rock.
Yeah, well, a little bit too late because guess what? They're back at Skylines and the TR have maxes. They're going to be having issues there with that one.
So we see TR here essentially not in a very sizable force here, but we do see them quite spread out in between the side building. LaneSmash on the roof, probably going to start pinging any sort of NC pushes coming from the spawn room. And quite interesting as well, we see the TR armor pushing the tech plant to prevent any sort of reinforcements coming in from the south. But we do see the NC manage to wipe the TR armor force here, and as this innocent TR gets helplessly gunned down here.
Yeah, so not a bad idea to try and get the vehicle control back from GSG, but the time is ticking at Skylance Battery. They do have a Liberator and a Reaver above. There's a solo lib. You'll love to see it, but guess what? Striker time. Yeah, you're gonna have to fly away and repair.
So unlike the last game, I don't think there's a gentleman's agreement on this game. So we should be seeing no strikers.
Nope, zero gentleman agreement. So we're going to see the strikers. We're going to see the AI maxes, air-to-air lock-ons, all of the cheese.
And it is quite interesting to see as well. It's the same as last game. The longer that the defenders wait to get onto capture point, they're still going to have to wait for the point to flip back in their favor. So we're 2 minutes. We're 2 minutes into the capture point here. So even if NC manage to get on the point right now, they're going to have to wait another 2 minutes defending that point. So
Cow drop on point.
Oh, big bright yellow guys! It comes out of nowhere. NC Maxes go straight in there. Zero fucks given. TR on the balcony here, in a position of defense. TR harasser here with a bulldog in a position here to really do some damage here, but I do feel that drop there was a very rushed effort. Not many NC remain there. It was a valiant effort by NC, but at the same time, it just came across as a very rushed drop. And I think that's mainly because the NC Galaxy essentially banked as it came in to drop off this payload.
Yeah, always a problem.
I was not expecting that. I didn't see that coming. So maybe neither did the TR, perhaps.
Well, the TR didn't see it coming, but it didn't matter because it took so long for that Galaxy to get there. Harassers were just arriving on the point, and TR already had maxes, and so they could just farm them as they tried to push in. Which I know those harassers are just going to be a right pain. We actually might see this flip with 50 seconds left to go.
NC get a Vanguard of all things onto the upper levels of this base. I don't see what, unless he's going to take out the maxes here or the harasser. I think he's going to take out the harasser.
The Max doesn't realise he's about to get a... Oh, hang on, that's an AP Vanguard. Okay, never mind.
30 seconds on the capture point. TR congregating on a very small part of this base. A few C4 would go a long way from NC LaneSmash here.
Time for the res nades for the TR if they have any left.
17 seconds.
Big push coming in on both sides now. TR are holding, however, on the southeast side, holding well the AP Vanguard.
Ooh, they just managed to tickle the point. Max goes in to try and contest it. NC do a last second push onto the capture point, managed to wipe TR. Well done to GSG there, but like I said earlier, they're going to have to wait now for a very long time, and if PTSD wants to, all they have to do is keep dropping on this point and keep having a game of tug of war on this capture point, because 3 minutes is plenty of time for PTSD to bring another armor column in, bring another Galaxy in, bring an ESFs in. They have plenty of time to formulate some sort of response, and we do see that NC do have quite a lot of mosquitoes at the tech plant, possibly stopping NC from regrouping, but we see those mosquitoes return to Human Skylands to essentially snipe the NC out in the open. I don't think TR managed to get any sort of hard spawn within the vicinity to regroup on themselves.
So I think what we might see now is either, in my opinion, PTSD can have two options: a big armor push or a Galaxy. And guess what? It's the armor push. 3 harassers surrounding the base now, driving along. We've got two Sunderers coming up. We've even 3
coming in.
Sunderers and even more harassers.
Harassers are paving the way for the Sunderers to get into this garage. We see NC moving into the garage now. This is their opportunity to wipe these Sunderers as they come in. But we see them more focused on the harassers, and they've yet to see the Sunderers coming in, because if they let these Sunderers put down their roots, then they're going to have a problem on their hands.
Yeah, you know, especially the deployment shield Sunday, which is trying to get in the garage right now. Deployment shield Sundays are kind of like a big, great oak tree. They're really difficult to remove unless you've got a load of dynamite.
2 NC left to contest the Sunderer. The Sunderer can deploy outside, and they do have 2 Sunderers. They could find alternative placements to it. We see the 3rd Sunderer deploying on the northernmost corner building, and we see TR progressively going into up big stairs to move on to the A point itself. But with 1 minute 45 seconds, TR are in a position here to get onto point. All they have to do is put a beacon down from that building they have, and that will beat them back on point. NC pushing that Sunderer and being wiped does give TR that room to maneuver and to aggressively push the point. And we see here TR grouping up in the dubs, or the double doors, outside the spawn room, sneaking in. NC unaware of this, Pounder Max goes in.
Yeah, so there's a push coming from the double doors and from the I shape. TR have a lot of base control right now, a lot of maxes compared to at least the last game, right? Being utilized well. While the NC now, they have to try and understand how they're going to counter the Air Force. Just saw Hawk shoot down 073, so he's gone. But that's only 1 when there's like 7 more. But they do have Vanguards on the road, but they're not going for the Sunderers.
Quite an aggressive defense here by PTSD. They move up their harassers to hold the spawn room. Mosquitoes waiting for that push.
And even if the Mozzies don't catch them, then the Maxes or the harassers are. So this is a really good assault from PTSD. Maybe they watched that YOBT TMNT game, or maybe they watched last match and realized how teams were struggling with trying to take Skylance, but they're showing them how it's supposed to be done. A really strong assault here right now. We might see another Gal drop from the NC. I feel like they might default back into that. But they have drove their Vanguards into the Sunday garage, and they're trying to kill the Sunday.
And the Sunday goes down, but TR still have... No, they lost their Northern Sunday as well. So
yeah,
all
but
TR now have the beacons.
With 1 minute 20, you have air control, you have harassers. Unless they realize they're getting flanked from the northeast, they should be okay here.
Because this is the thing, NC do have a beacon in the garage area. They could redeploy onto that beacon, go through the iron building, and hit PTSD in the rear. Because all TR focus seems to be in the spawn room.
Yeah, but surely the TR like SL is thinking, hang on, this is a little bit too easy. What are they up to? There's not enough pop in that spawn room.
But with 50 seconds left, GSG have an opportunity here to use the beacon to their advantage to keep the TR between a rock and a hard place between their spawn beacon and the spawn room. But we do see TR pulling back to the capture point within the last 30 seconds to guarantee their capture, with the harassers trying to hold back the drips and drabs that GSG are bringing in. Quite a lot of Vanguards trying to get up this stairwell here, and it's just a waste of manpower. They need to get out of the vehicle, put a beacon down, and then just get on that point. 17 seconds left.
Again. It's AP again. It's not useful for shelling the point from behind. The harassers are on the other side where the Vanguards can't reach, and so with 8 seconds to go, the point is being attacked by both sides. TR collapsing on it now, bringing down one of the Vanguards with a load of C4, harasser coming around the side, and there goes the point to PTSD. That is now 2-0 to PTSD with 11 minutes and 20 seconds or so left in the match.
We do have PTSD already inside the tech plant, but I do believe he has been dealt with by the NC. 086 on the stairs, taking a little nap. Sleepy time. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the capture point, but well done to GSG for managing to redeploy and intercepting that individual. But did he put a beacon up? Did he allow his teams to get back here? We do see a burning mosquito on the roof. We do see a TR also taking a nap time on the middle deck. Several TR in the base itself, around the outskirts. They do have a beacon up. NC, Vanguard and Harassers dealing with the Sundry here. NC doing their best to try and rid of any hard points here. RNC contesting Tumor Skylands. It doesn't appear to be...
No contesting going on here. And PTSD have left a somewhat sizable force behind to protect the point as well. So there's no backcapping by the looks of things for at least in the immediate time.
So as we enter the 13th minute of this half, we see TR making an attempt for the A point, it seems, especially for the balcony. But it seems that both teams are very separated at the moment. We do see quite a lot of NC harassers getting themselves ready for the A point here. It's two harassers trying to get onto the top of the balcony. One time bullet and one cobalt harasser. TR do make a dash for the capture point. 3 TR on the point itself. These harassers caught out of position. TR on the balcony.
So I mean, at least we see the harassers. You know, in the last game, we didn't see them from OP for the defense. And okay, yeah, they're going down by the PTSD heavies, but it's still nice to see that they tried to defend the tech plant properly. However,
Galaxy comes in. Team Spitfire defending this push. Can the Spitfire kill these Maxes? Oh, and Team Spitfire goes down.
Good.
Press F in chat for the Spitfire. That Spitfire did his best.
I hate that matter.
No, he did his best.
Okay, did his best, good, but guess what? I still hate the meta.
We do see NC here scrambling up the Gravelers, trying to deal with it, but they are welcomed by a firing line of Maxes and infantry here. It was quite good to see GSG trying to get those harassers in, but I do feel that they got caught out essentially. But it was a good idea for them. In my eyes, did the right thing, but they didn't have enough support to defend them as they positioned essentially. And we just see the NC here getting picked off because they're on their own. They're just very out of position, out of formation, and they're not cohesive. So it makes me wonder how NC are going to get back onto this point, because they still have a few harassers. Will they go overland? Will they use the tunnels? We see TR harassing the NC at the vehicle bay here. A squad of NC out in the wilds, moving around at the outer perimeter of the tech plant itself. Maybe they'll go through the vehicle bay. Maybe they'll go through the rear door. It seems they're going to go for the rear. Do we have TR on the big gun? No.
I mean, they got the recon and they got the rotations. Quick, nice little detail is that they GSG destroyed both the vehicle tunnels inside the tech plant, so they don't have to worry about that. Point is flipping. It's now coming up from the big gun NC, pushing up under X, and that's the same side actually, which OP pushed up when they did their push back onto the point. However, this push much less successful than OP's in the last match.
This is a very long cap, 5 minutes, and the same rule applies to the previous base. The longer that the defenders wait to dislodge, the longer they'll have to wait when they get the capture point back. But we do see TR harassers now arrive together onto Big Gun.
So much. That's so strange. There's not a lot of time for them to cap it if the NC keep tapping the. So I don't understand why PTSD aren't leaving 1 or 2 people there. They should have no pilots outside. They're going to have limited effectiveness. They should all be inside the tech plant at this point. We see at least 14 people on the big gun. And that's a lot of resources to put there. I'm wondering now if the NC will try to do the Hail Mary play, either a balcony gal drop or a push from the rabbit hole.
But it's the thing, like NC are giving the TR time to set up their harassers and their defences. But it does appear that TR have invested massively, quite a considerable proportion of their manpower onto holding this A point here. And if still NC here on the balcony trying to make a inroad onto the balcony itself, they are quite sizable force here. Max is switching. Will we see an effort by TR to wipe them on the balcony? It does seem that they are going to peek. They peek a few engineers and a few medics.
Oh, great use of C4 there from Fear the Beard, who's playing a medic right now. He just C4 two TR heavies, and again, but this time from 102, and they are pushing into the balcony a little bit with a little bit of presence. However, they just C4 their own push. Oh man, never mind, never mind. Let's see four in their own push and there's a harasser just chilling there.
But here we have NTR pushing and switching onto the balcony to prevent this NC push. This would be a perfect time for them to push big gun, because the NC on the balcony are providing a very effective distraction here, and we see the force of the big gun lessen essentially with the slack picked up by two harassers.
I wouldn't want to try to push those staircases when there's two harassers sitting there, especially when one's a bulldog and one's a fury. You're just gonna get shelled, and then even if you don't get shelled, you're gonna get run over. Another Valkyrie coming into the balcony area, another balcony push. Didn't work out that well last time. Okay.
It's one other thing, and I said this in like other games I've seen on this lane, is that the most common ways to get onto this base is through the tunnels or a galaxy, but we don't often see people or defenders using a beacon so they can land onto the roof itself where the anti-air guns are and the teleporters. And we do see a few NC up here on the top balcony of the tech plant, and they're probably going to do what I'm about to suggest, which is they use the teleport and they literally go straight up the stairs. So we normally the people defending the capture point will watch out from the balcony or big gun, but they don't really necessarily look at the teleporters. And we see NC on the very top roof here waiting to go through, and they go through here. I can't go for a teleport. I have to try and zoom all the way down here.
Oh, here comes the push. Yeah, here comes the push. But they're going into a Max and a Bulldog harasser. The Bulldog harasser and them. Oh, it's filth. It's disgusting. No, not like this. Another harasser comes in with the Fury. Oh man. NC are med-balling the push. They're trying to keep pushing, but they're going to be wiped. Only one engineer left. A res grenade pops. The medics are back up. It's all carnage. It's all death, and it's all mayhem.
But had they gone through the other teleporter, maybe that would have been different. I think they chose the wrong teleporter in the end. It was a great idea, and it was what I was about to suggest, but it was a good play. I've not seen that play yet by NC. Unfortunately, it didn't go in their favour. 1 minute left on the cap. I don't think they'll get back on point, but that was a very good effort by them.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, really nice rotation from PTSD. It's the sort of rotation which can win you to half 3-0, and it looks like it's going to. NC doing a last-ditched effort push from the rabbit hole, but guess what? PTSD actually GSG'd a Sundra inside to cover it. And with 30 seconds left on the base timer, I feel like this is a 3-0 for PTSD for the start. I see no way that the NC could possibly get back onto this point. Maybe if they use the underground tunnels to that square building and then ambush a jump jet with C4 and shotguns onto the point. But with 8 seconds left, that's not going to be realistic. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. 3-0. Well done to PTSD.
End of round. All players need to leave the continent. All players need to leave the continent.
So as the match ends there, well, the round, sorry. Not the match. The match is still ongoing. This is the end of round 1. Quite an interesting game so far, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there were some nice plays coming out from GSG. Some off-meta things, which it's quite exciting to see if they work. Of course, if they don't work, then you're going to get punished by them, especially with against a team like PTSD, who are training a lot, and I mean a lot. I think they have trained the most out of any other team in the tournament, and so they know how to abuse mistakes made by other teams. So, like pulling a Valkyrie and committing 6 people to doing nothing, like you can understand the concept behind it, but it's just like, well, those 6 people could have so much more impact doing other things. And so you like to see it, but at this stage in the tournament, I wouldn't be experimenting with off-meta things. I would be going with what is known, and using that. Just like what PTSD are doing. They're doing it methodically. They're doing it with speed. And because of that, apologies, and because of that, that's why they've got the 3-0. And, Skyline's battery can be a tricky base for a lot of teams. Yet for PTSD, okay, yeah, they lost the point once, but they got back on there pretty easily with the maxes, strikers, harassers, and of course the early ground mozzies. And okay, GSG, they tried with the vanguards, but why are you using an AP vanguard to shell the point, Dotsaw? I don't know.
So, what was the score again, sorry?
3-0 to PTSD, so very strong for them.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering, because as the admins change the lane, essentially, it is scuffing up the scoreboard a little, so I'll reset the score anyway, but that should fix the problem. So both teams will have 0-0. Because the last thing I want is the stream to have the wrong score. So I'll just reset it.
Sounds good to me.
We know that PTSD have the score.
PTSD, yeah, 3-0, yeah. And PTSD will now be on the Tumas side, with GSG on the Hyoka side.
So it'd be quite interesting to see how both teams approach this. I think they're probably going to approach in the same manner. But I think, as people have already said previously, I've not done it myself. I've not done the science or the math, but people say it's easier to get onto Chimney Rock from the south than it is the north. So hopefully we'll see a role reversal. But we saw the first round that neither team rushed to get on point. We saw NC hold back in this building here. We saw TR focused on essentially getting that vehicle and air dominance. So hopefully, or maybe, should I say, that we'll see a difference. Maybe we'll see a straight cap. But I think that's what both teams were probably intending on, just waiting for that steal, essentially.
Yeah, but then you put yourself at a disadvantage because you're not taking the initiative. And if you're not taking the initiative in Planet side, you best hope that you have some strong shooters who know what they're doing and how they're going to get onto that point. You best hope that you've practiced your breaching. You best hope that you know how to use your force multipliers and bring all 3 of them together at the same time. Just like we saw PTSD do at Chimney Rock in the first half, right? They brought the armor in, they brought the Air Force in, and then bang, they smashed through with maxes and conch grenades and HE, and it worked. And it worked really well. And that's what you want in LaneSmash. Yeah? You don't want a sort of style where, okay, medic, heavy, engineer, that's it. We're going to just do an infantry point hold. Because, okay, yeah, against if you have just stronger shooters overall, maybe you can resist the force multipliers. Maybe. But this is LaneSmash. Force multipliers are what you want. If you bring together all the aspects of combined arms, especially on a lane like Chimney or the Chimney Rock lane, lane 1, you know, it's gonna be brilliant. And in the chat, we see people say, "Oh yeah, it looks like a steamroll." Well, that's because one team was bringing together all aspects of combined arms, and another team wasn't.
So as we see both teams slowly return to the continent, we see quite a few more prowlers than we did see for TR here. Literally on the cusp of the actual hex here. So we're seeing 1, 2, 3, 6 prowlers here, and the Liberator and the ESS, pretty much the same composition as they had the last round.
Yeah, I mean, for PTSD, keeping the same composition is going to be fine because guess what? It worked. But I swear, if I see another Valkyrie from GSG, I'm going to be very upset because it's not worth the commitment of people. Okay, yeah, 250 nanites, cool, fine, it's cheap. But is the impact really going to be worth it if you pull another Valkyrie? I'm going to say no. And maybe some people will disagree with me on that. But to be honest, why not have more Reavers to help take the air control? Why not have more Vanguards or more Sunderers or more Maxes? The impact of 2 medics, 2 heavies, and 2 engineers dropping out of a Valkyrie onto the zigzag at Chimney Rock is nothing compared to the impact 6 more Reavers or 4 Vanguards or 2 more Reavers could have, right? And so unless GSG have a much better opener for this side, to be honest, I didn't think this would be the case for this match. I thought it'd be 5 or 4-0. But we could actually genuinely see a 6-0 coming from PTSD here.
So we see TR now essentially forming up, ready for this next round. Quite a few Mozzie this time. They have 2 Liberators compared to the NC.
The second round starts in 2 minutes. The second round
With
starts.
2 minutes good to go for next round starts. It's going to be quite interesting to see what these prowlers do. Will they push down the road? Will they go across the bridge? And will they push on the western side of Chimney Rock and essentially keep the NC from crossing that bridge? Or will we see NC completely skip the bridge and go east through the arch and into the open plains? I think we saw last game that people favoured the eastern side rather than contesting the road, so we'll just see what NC have in terms of vehicles. So they seem to have primarily ESFs this time around, and from what I can see, insofar only 2 Vanguards and a Harasser, so they're pretty much outmanned on the MBT side. I'm not seeing any sort of Galaxy or Valkyries from either team.
Smokes are not allowed.
Good.
Smokes are not allowed.
Oh, smokes are not allowed. I wonder who was smoking. It's bad for your health. You shouldn't be doing it. So, what do you think we're going to see here? Do you think GSG are going to get the upset going? Or do you think PTSG are just going to start to run away with the game?
30 seconds.
I see PTSD have... I think PTSD are going to win on the ground by the sheer fact that they have more prowlers in comparison to the Vanguards, and they have 2 supporting Liberators in support of the prowlers as they did the last round. It seems that TR have more mosquitoes as well, so it makes me wonder if NC will have the same amount of Reavers, because it doesn't seem comparable at the moment. It doesn't seem like they have more.
3, 2, 1. Second round starts.
Totally agree. There's a huge disparity between the sides of what they've pulled, which is really strange to see. Very concerned for GSG going into the second half as the air battle goes on to be... No one started shooting yet. Come on, there we go. There's the tracers.
Because it seems that the NC have favoured a bigger airport to win the air compared to TR, who seem to have more of a balanced land and air force. We see the Reavers here being very conservative, very just holding their grounds, not pushing in, not trying to chase those kills. Same thing for the Mosquitoes. You have one Reaver try and push in. The TR Mozzies don't take the bait, they don't chase into the NC Reavers. TR are the first on the T junction at Chimney Rock. Prowlers going both north and east around the base. I have yet to see the progress of the, incorrect, the NC Vanguards that are going east across the open plains. They should be against a 2-1. Sorry, no, if 3 versus 2 now.
3 versus 2. They've got 3 Prowlers coming along, and those Vanguards up on the ridgeline now. They have the shield as well, so I expect
we're going to see another pincer movement here by PTSD. The same as the first round, where that excellent armor push comes in against these Vanguards. These Vanguards all alone on this hillside will get bullied by these 3.
There's going to be 5 versus 2. There's no honor in that. The shield goes on. 1 Prowler goes down. That's a 4 versus 2. Second Vanguard is burning. He's gone. And now it's a 4 versus 1. Oh, that was a Liberator, I think, shooting that. Yeah, a Liberator decided to join the battle. So that's total vehicle control for PTSD.
Again, we see another armor push. Another armor push by PTSD. In the first round, they did a really excellent pincer maneuver. But again, neither team are on the capture point. They're probably still fighting in the air. I mean, as both teams still fight for this air dominance, you'd think those Prowlers on the way past would like plonk a beacon down or something like that, or have an infiltrator from both teams contesting this point, but they both seem to be ignoring it. We do see Mosquitoes hovering over the point. But what is going on? It just doesn't make sense. It's like everyone just gets stuck into that cinematic air battle because everyone thinks it's cool, and it is cool, but at the same time, the fight needs to be fought on the ground.
Maybe they had like an agreement, like maybe they wanted to have a fun match or something, and so they just said, if we get Ruffle stopped, just please allow us to have an air battle, and that's it. Because that's the only way I can explain it. Finally, someone has started to flip the point at Chimney Rock Depot. But why so
NC?
late?
There is one TR guy running to contest. TR managed to get a Sunderer on the western side of it, which is not an ideal Sunderer replacement because that really annoying rock. NC don't have a Sunderer on the opposite side yet. I don't think the NC guy on the point actually has a beacon, but we do see one PTSD guy going onto point. We'll see who wins a 1v1. Oh, he tries to get a rocket launcher off. He manages the med 2 TR on the point, and they get the cap. But we do see a lot of TR Sunderers at the ammo tower, just waiting in reserve, waiting to push up that road and dislodge any sort of NC presence. But that presence is non-existent right now. The air fight still continues to go on here.
It's so strange. And why? Okay, so area control is really important for LaneSmash, just like how it is.
In like the fight outside the lane as well. This is how far the battle's got. It's been dragged off of the lane, and this is now air smash.
Yeah, but like it's just weird to see because NC lost the initial engagement in here, then they've re-pulled. And now TR are starting to lose it, but TR have taken control of everything else.
Because it's the thing, the more mosquitoes that get wiped by the NC Reavers, that's more PTSD on the capture point.
Okay,
and
so the reason, I just want to point out, the reason why PTSD have decided to start losing the air battle is because they've committed to a load of people re-pulling Sunderers, which they didn't pull at the start of the half, to drive towards the point, which is good. You like to see the Sunderers next to the point. You need them if you want to take the base. However, you've gifted them air control, and now we see Vanguards on the main road with a Sunderer coming up. 2 Prowlers to contest, but you've given them air control, which is that's a risky thing to do.
Because those Sunderers were waiting at the armor tower for a considerable amount of time, and perhaps we could have seen those Reavers deal with those Sunderers while they were in situ. But I think these Reavers are more kitted out to deal with ESFs and not necessarily ground vehicles. So now these Reavers, unless the TR pull more mosquitoes, they're not going to do much damage really in the grander scheme of things. But we do see 4 NC Vanguards pushing the bridge, destroying the Prowlers trying to defend the bridge. If they wipe this TR, we'll probably see them move east and then move north to destroy those Thunderers, giving NC plenty of time to get back on point with 1 minute 30. Maybe this is what they're doing. Maybe NC are waiting to steal that cap.
Yeah, I mean that's the wise thing to do, but because of the strikers and the anti-air guns on the Sunderers, their air control, which was gifted to the NC, is a red herring. Because
as we see the NC push south towards Chimascala's battery, they've not stopped to deal with those Sunderers on the point. This is why they need those vanguards. They need those vanguards up here now to help them get onto this capture point. There's several vehicles on this capture point from TR, and the NC vehicles who could probably do the most damage are now having to do a complete U-turn to deal with this. They should stop by the Sunderer at the Hour Tower. They completely get distracted by it. They should deal with it, but with 40 seconds...
So really intelligent play coming in from PTSD. The strikers combined with the anti-air bus. Although the anti-air bus has now gone down, they've still got the strikers, and with 30 seconds left to go, the Vanguard kills the GSG harasser, which tried to harass the Sunderers, pardon the pun. Vanguard's coming in now down in through the main lane, yet 20 seconds left on the cap timer.
Had those Vanguards not crossed that bridge, they would have had at least another 10 more seconds.
Cap's pointing, you're fine. It's like one Vanguard goes down, there's like 3 more. And there's harassers coming in for both sides now.
That Sunderer needs to be at score point. If they lose that Sunderer, they will have no spawns unless they still have a beacon. NC going for the big push.
Too late. It's too late. Way too little. Way too late. Got to work on those timings for GSG there. But you can understand what they were trying to do, and it was the concept was correct. The method and the execution. Not so much.
I just feel like that Vanguard column, he just went across the bridge when he could just hook to left and dealt with those Sunderers and had the extra 10 seconds. And we've seen this many games now where 10 seconds or even 15 seconds would have made a massive difference, and it always creates like these what-if scenarios. Do we have any TR onto chemical plant?
Just watched a couple of GSG members get absolutely ground farmed. Point is flipping at Chemical Lab, but the TR who was flipping it is dead, and there's about 6 or so GSG infantry here to stop the back cap, which is the correct play for now. Infantry terminal in the L shape is still alive. Seems like they have a Sunderer. Guess what, Dodsaw? They do have a Sunderer. They've deployed it on the bridge.
It deploys on the bridge is quite an awkward thing because it is a kind of quick and easy placement, but it's just that awkwardness because you get stuck on the sides when you deploy and you have to awkwardly try and jump away across.
Yeah,
but
you don't want to fall in that toxic water because otherwise you are dead. Which is a key part about this base. It's quite unique in that sense. Point is flipping again, but again the TI infantry dies as the push comes in. The second wave, it's like a zombie game. Second wave is now here. They're flipping the point. Are they back cap? Not just yet. Point is now neutralized.
TR on the cap at Heavy Chemical Lab here. Pushing up big stairs towards Dubs. NC forming up on the opposite side of the bridge. If TR have any sort of mosquitoes in the air, then they need to be on this bridge ready for that push.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the air to ground recently, but that's because they're currently trying to take down a Liberator. Once that happens, they're going to be more than available to deal with this push, but the push is coming in now across the bridge as they get shot for the double doors. One of them decides to jump off. Only 2 people make it to the double doors. Regal goes down. Chronic is still alive. Gets flanked by Carl.
Oh, and we see an NC, sorry, a TR Sunderer fall into the lake here, trying to avoid a Vanguard.
You hate to see it for the TR, but also nice.
NC Liberator here, trying to repair under fire from the mosquitoes. And it goes down, a lost cause.
Oof, and they used repair grenades on that, so that's Nanite's gone.
NC make an attempt onto the capture point. They managed to make it neutral, but TR managed to clear it themselves and re-secure the cap.
Question: do you think that trying to keep that Liberator alive with the 75 nanite cost for the repair grenade? Do you think that was worth it, Or do you think they should just be like, it's dead, we should just leave it?
It's one of those things. They're getting pounded by the mosquitoes, and really the mosquitoes could just kill the engineers, and it's just not great, because even if you do manage to repair it, you're going to take damage as soon as you take off, essentially. We start to see Vanguards trying to deal with these harassers. TR still control the bridge.
Yeah, good hold so far from PTSD. They have maxes inside. Unlike the last match, we actually do see a Mercy max, which is nice to see because there's no gentleman's agreements. So nothing to worry about in terms of restrictions, except for the default ones like smoke. One infantryman on the point for GSG. He takes down the engineer for the max, but Max is still alive. There should be a res coming out sometime. No! Dotsaw!
We see a Vanguard completely ignoring the repairing Valkyrie right behind it. Sorry, Harasser, sorry, not Valkyrie.
Yeah, like why? And also, why? Why is there a Spitfire? Stop!
Where's the Spitfire?
It's on the point. It's an outrage. I cannot tolerate this. This is outrageous.
Team Spitfire making another appearance this game. He must be a winger from the previous game.
Must be. We need the admins to look into that, to be honest. Pretty sure that breaks some rules.
NC Sunra just going around the base here.
Oh, Max crashed wall stairs. The harasser tries to run him over, fails, but doesn't matter because it's split it up. The Max crash. Well, one is already half HP, one is a third. One goes down, Eagle's dead. There goes the engineer, and there goes the last Max. Oh man.
GS3, unfortunate. Another unfortunate attempt there.
Oh, that rotation from TR though was perfect. Right, you love to see rotations like that.
Yeah.
That's the stuff, where, if you're looking at it from a tactical perspective, quote unquote, it's just lovely to see it.
Because I've seen teams on this lane push from the underground but hesitate on the stairs and get gunned down by harassers, and it was quite good to see GSG just quickly not hesitate, gets back in there. We see another attempt here, backed up by a Vanguard. Will we see this Max here? Ooh, very costly here. NC, will it get a sideline on these Maxes on big stairs?
So with 60 seconds or so to go now on the cap timer. They have the vehicles going around the base, but okay, cool. Are you going to try and angle that Liberator in? That's a nice play.
So we don't see...
managed to do it.
We see two NC beacons here.
Look at the Liberator. They're trying to angle the rear of it in. To try and... He did it, and then the pilot decided, no thanks. I don't want to get strikered or pounded by the Max.
It seems at some point TR lost their stealth bridge bus as well, so maybe the TR are only working off of beacons.
Bad news bears for the TR. They've all collapsed the point with 25 seconds to go.
Oh, and then they're asking to get C4 from Big Step if GSG can control the upper.
Pressure. It's inviting so much pressure.
17 seconds.
Oh, but don't forget, Dodsaw. GSG just aren't leaving their vehicles in time like they did at Chimney Rock. Same mistake again. They're pushing in now. Is it going to be enough? They push up the big stairs. 4, 3, 2, 1.
C4, come on.
Yeah, okay, a bit of C4 coming out now a little bit, but it's just not enough. It's
Look at all the C4 there around the capture point. Very unfortunate there.
Just unexploded. You could see 4 C4s were thrown at the same place. That seems a bit,
But had they gone off, it could have been a different story. Had like one grenade just tipped them all off and...
Still a good hold from PTSD there, very nice hold. Those Vanguards have just been left sitting there. The NC are dropping back in on a beacon, but the Vanguards aren't going to help you take that point. You've, only to isolate the point, not to take the point. It's a powerhouse.
TR infiltrates already making their way to the capture point at the tech plant.
Nice.
No NC here to meet them, apart from a harasser trying to make its way to the balcony.
So as that point begins to flip... Oh! Ambusher jump jet on point. Rapid for GSG.
1v1. Oh, and it goes down.
Yeah. If that wasn't a shotgun, maybe that was a different story there.
What do TR have? Do they have a beacon? We have TR on the middle level of the tech plant.
Yeah, we saw it in the first half, right? They like to get these harassers on the point.
Beacon goes up for TR.
But last time, TR were able to methodically just remove them. One TR heavy walked onto the balcony, didn't check his corners, and got wrecked by an engineer. Here comes another TR member on the balcony, pulls out the links, gets one, goes for the second. Oh, shotgunned. Cheesed to death. He must be lactose intolerant, Doctor.
Oh, we see an NC harasser fail at the big gun. It's now flipped. Unfortunately, got a bit carried away with his afterburner there. Three NC harassers on the balcony itself.
Also a fight going on for the outside vehicle terminal. Two infiltrators are fighting. It's a duel. Fear the Beard pulls out his sidearm and gets SMG'd. So the TR now control the outside vehicle terminal.
NC pulling Reavers in the middle of Mosquito, trying to contest the airspace around that plant. We start to see a big TR armor column of harassers and Sunderers coming. Do they have a GSG on these Sunderers? Are they going to go through the back door? We see the back three with the shield diffusers here to go through the center vehicle bay here. They piled in.
So they're getting the harassers slowly, and they're taking the bottom part of the tech plant. Heavy is Kianov is harassing a harasser, but jumps down to avoid dying. That harasser's going to try to get repaired, but guess what? PTSD are here on the scene. They killed the harasser on the big gun. They are now on the point. They are pushing up. Chronic tries to rotate and respond. Too little, too late, I'm afraid. You go down, you're destroyed, and PTSD have almost taken the tech plant fully. And that's it, NC are wiped. Coming in now from the bunny hole. Yet they can't get out. They can't get out the grab lift.
Because that was quite an interesting push by PTSD, because they brought the Sunderers and they brought the harassers, and every single one of those vehicles had the intent of getting onto the capture point. So that must have took a lot of planning to do that kind of maneuver, because it was a good thing to see, because they went into the middle, the old vehicle bay here. They just launched their troops, and all the vehicles quite quickly made their way up these stairs. And now we see PTSD in a position. Oh, we start to see a Sunderer coming up the stairs here.
Oh, that's cheeky. That's cheeky. I'd also like to point out, just really quickly, GSG didn't destroy the vehicle terminals like they did last time inside the vehicle bay, and that's just going to cause even more issues. But they are also, like they did last time, they are trying to push in the balcony a little bit, and Mercy Max about to get C4'd. No. Got shot in the face. Never mind. It's all quiet for the NC right now there. They just seem disorganized. They're trying to push in different angles, trying to explore what is possible. They're bringing up harassers onto the big gun, perhaps. One of them halfway up. Oh, it's a canister harasser. Oh, I've got to do... Oh, did you see that? They intercepted the NC harasser, knocking him off the balcony, the big gun, onto the floor, and then the NC harasser got destroyed. That was so nice.
Well, this is a repeat of the previous match where we see the TR at the big gun. Oh, the harasser does a flip. Oh, tries to run over the NC on the stairwell here.
Yeah, but they got it. I mean, they have a dual cobalt burst on top of the big gun.
Squad spawn. That is their squad spawn now. As long as that Sunderer's there, the TR can just keep coming back in.
Yeah, and let's not forget, it's got cobalts on it, so rip any infantry trying to push up that big gun now.
We do see Sunderers waiting on the rabbit hole as well, waiting for the NC to come up. Quite a few TR Sunderers in the vehicle bay itself. Not too sure where the NC push is.
I think they're. Are they getting a Galaxy? No, I don't think so. All the poppers 50-50 here. So it's not a Galaxy push right now onto the balcony or teleporter. They're in the spawn room. Just gearing up for the push. Oh no. Oh no, Dot. So if they use the grav lift to the bunny hole. Oh no. Please don't do it. They're going down into the.
Don't do it. Yeah,
tunnels.
don't do it. Don't go.
Please. Please, no, not like this. GSG. They've got no maxes. Why have they got no maxes? What are they waiting for?
But maybe they'll go down one of the side entrances. Maybe they'll not go to the rabbit hole in the vehicle bay.
Well, they're going. Let's find out. And now, oh, come on. They're teasing us. There we go. And they're off. They go to the first banana building. Okay.
Where have they come up?
Yeah, banana building.
Big conga line of infantry here. It's a big push. They're very clumped up here. They're very clumped up here. The guys on big guns should see this coming in. They do. They contest it. That's
Yeah.
That is immediately, guys, are coming up these stairs. Will we see the vehicle switch? The vehicle switching upstairs.
Give me some C4 in that staircase. Come on, baby.
God, the harass is going to run him over. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. Oh! We knew it was coming. We knew it was going to happen.
The harassers, the grenades, the EMPs, and the safeguard resist.
And the wall of maxes, just to add insult to injury there. Oh god, that was brutal.
From GSG putting the XD in chat. That's not an XD, my friend. That's Pepe hands. That's Pepe hands for your team right there.
We just knew that harasser was just waiting for that moment, and he just skims like it's like he got headshots as he skimmed all those infantry. But that must be a quite demoralizing push by GSG there. But again, on the other hand, that was a good attempt when you think about it. That was a very cohesive push. Unfortunately, the cheese is not in their favor here.
Yeah, no way near. Oh no, GSG are putting GGs in the chat already. Oh man, their spirit is broken.
It makes you wonder, like, if everyone just went heavy decimators or even maxes and just like you just pounded their way through those vehicles.
Yeah, could do if they have any nanites left.
I mean, if they're already GGing, you know, what's a max push? You know, it's just one last Hail Mary. You know, it's get on point, destroy as much as you can.
Yeah, that's so. It doesn't sit well with you when a team is already calling GG with, you know, with their home base under contention. Plenty of time, by the way, for PTSD to cap it. And it's just, they're just walking in and dying. It's like that film, Live, Die, Repeat.
Live, die, repeat.
It's just, it's unfair. It's not right. Eurofarm Simulator 2020. Pick up your edition now. Now featuring harassers, sunderers, and a tech plant.
But look at these sunderers on the 8 point, on the actual walls themselves. That is just they just have the angle there just to. I mean, 50 seconds in the game here. Will we see one last NC push, or have they been completely broken?
I think they're broken. 3 minutes ago, someone wrote. Well, at least 3 minutes in the future, someone writes. Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They need, because GSG need a miracle. They need divine. Not even inspiration anymore. They need intervention because 30 seconds to go. SU is overloaded. That's BM. And it's just not gonna go. It's over. Dotsaw. Start preparing.
I had so high hopes that push as well, because just seeing that, like, you know, how rapid that assault was, and I think PTSD, in much to them, is they did switch to that. They did see the threat and they did act accordingly.
But Dotsaw, why only push up one staircase?
End of match. End of match.
And that is the end of match. The win goes to PTSD there. Commiserations to GSG.
6-0.
6-0. As you heard there from the referee. Unfortunate for GSG. I personally think they played quite well.
The team can please join waiting for the interview channel for the post-game interview.
But as we've seen in the previous games, that take-the-plant defense is absolutely a nightmare when they have Sunderers, Harassers, and the two most choky, pointless stairs known in existence. And they had everywhere covered. They had the rabbit hole covered, they had the teleports covered, they had bow stair was covered, and it was unfortunate to see GSG be broken by that push, but at the same time, well played for them to even attempt that sort of push.
Yeah. I mean, I respect the bravery and the courage of it. Gotta question why you would send 24 people to their deaths like that.
But it's one of those things. It's just like when the pressure's on you and you think, I have to get in there, and everyone's just said, "Hail Mary," no one gives a shit. Everyone's just running in there. Maybe they could have, maybe they could have maybe they could have wrecked it a bit more. Maybe they could send a few guys ahead to see where that, like, bait them on one side and then push on the other, that kind of thing. But I can see that the objective of this is going to be a blitzkrieg. We have to do this really, really quick. We can't hesitate. We have to get straight on the point, and that's what they did. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. But I've seen in multiple other circumstances where it would have worked or it could have worked, and it's unfortunate that this time around it didn't work for GSG. But again, fair play for them to attempt it. I'm sure that even if they had managed to breach the big gun, they would have had to deal with the Sunderers, the Harassers, and the TR on the balcony. So even if they would have overcome the first obstacle, they would have probably fell at the second. And
For sure.
And you could say it was stacked against them from the beginning.
Oh yeah, I mean, once you have that many Sunderers and Harassers on point, and then Maxes as well, like any team is going to struggle to get that amount of force multipliers removed out of their tech plant. It's so difficult to do. So
the people going to be interviewed are poking me, quite rude. So I will drag them up in a second, and we'll see what they have to say. Let's see.
User was moved to your channel.
Was
moved to your channel.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Hey, man. We just finished the interview downstairs. What's this? Smile.
You're a bit late.
So, congratulations to PTSD and commiserations to GSG. So that was actually quite an interesting game to watch. Some really good pushes by both teams, some really good switches, and essentially changed directions when he needed to. So, PTSD, how did that game go for you?
I repeat myself, but all according to plan. We had that lane before. We had more than enough training on it, and we knew what was coming for us when it comes down to the lane itself. We were a bit surprised by the GSG openers with that lots of air, and we struggled to actually get air dominance. So really well done with that one.
Yeah, that second round was difficult.
Yeah, but in general, I would say everything according to plan.
Okay, thank you. And Rapid, same question for you guys. I assume it didn't go all to plan for you guys. What happened? Where did everything go?
So the plan was to do like what Can1 did during the afterwards. We kind of looked weak and then we would come back, but the comeback didn't really happen. So it was that plan didn't work out. But no, seriously, PTSD is just a really better team. They had people that were like on the ball, pulling vehicles and stuff like that, and practice and such like that. Because I watched to see which teams like are practicing in the when they reserve lands, and PTSD has their practice has really paid off. I've been watching their matches, and each match they just get significantly better. And when it came out to us, I'm like, gosh, we had to see them at the end. That's our last team. They're gonna be the best, and it definitely you can feel that as they seamless transitions to cheese. And it was just really enjoyable to be on the receiving end of it. I know it kind of sucks to get rolled, but it's also nice to see how another team's playing.
Oh, that's sweet.
Kiss.
So both teams, quickly just run us through both your team's composition essentially. Where were your strengths? Where were your weaknesses? Were you primarily air, that kind of thing? And what was your basic setup essentially?
Again with that question. Again, and I will answer it the same way. We have pilots, we have people for the cheese, and we have infantry, and that's all you get from me.
So no secret plans are getting divulged.
No,
by
we don't
PTSD.
experiment or anything.
So-
The experiments we leave for the practice matches, and when it comes down to the actually matches, then no experiments allowed.
So, my question for PTSD then is, if you guys didn't practice as much, do you think you would be in the same position as you were at the start of the
No.
season? Because
No.
sorry, this question is for this is going to end up being a question for GSG, because like you guys have practiced a lot PTSD. Well, GSG, again, I look at also the how many people reserve lanes and stuff, and GSG, I got to be honest, compared to PTSD, the amount of practice you guys have done is a lot less. Do you think Rapid, with a lot more practicing, do you think GSG could have had a stronger performance in the group stage? Because that was your last match for the group. So do you think you could have had a stronger performance in the group?
Yeah, it really. If of course we had more practice, right, and that's a different thing. If people had more time to practice, really, I've personally, I got a lot of things going on personally in real life as well. I have my engineering final project that I'm working on right now and picking out a thesis, stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff for me. So I'm also just relying on a lot of people. But overall, we're just a casual group on live and also in LaneSmash at the end of the day. So it's hard to get a large group of people to practice individually. At the end of the day, it's who comes to the match and shows up, whoever plays, right? It's that kind of thing. So we're just having fun with it. And at the end of the day, it's not we're not taking it so seriously. We're just taking it a match at a time, just having fun within the match and experimenting there and learning from that experience. And it does affect our live play. I'd say that we've gotten a lot better on live through these LaneSmash matches.
Glad you've found LaneSmash really fun.
Yeah, it's a really good learning experience.
Definitely. And we would be nowhere our current level if we hadn't trained. Like, it is actually, in retrospective, it's insane what I put my people through, my team members through. We had constant 4 or 5 trainings each week for the past 6 weeks, including practice matches, which are a step more. And I'm really glad that everything pays off so well for us, and I hope it continues like that.
Okay. Dots, any questions from you?
Not really. I think the game was, to be honest, pretty enjoyable to watch. There were some really good moments there, some very clippable moments. But I think both teams did really well, and in their future matches, I hope both of them well.
Okay.
It was fun, and the post-game chat was very fun. We were down there in the other channel, joking
we
around.
were just flaming each other the whole time, just yelling at each other. Wah.
Someone
toxic,
called the admins.
so toxic.
Of course, dude. The amount of PTSD are gonna have to after this match too.
So I have just one final question for PTSD, because GSG, as I say, your matches are done. You're done now. But PTSD, you got one last match on the 29th of May. It's going to be OP versus yourselves, and it's on lane 4, not Amp Station, Ymir Biolab. So a nice lane. It's a nice lane in my opinion. I like it. How do you think that's going to go for you guys?
Well, we have fought on that lane against RSPC, so we have some experience on that lane, definitely. Against OP, we had several practice matches which went in our favor, and I hope that will be the same on lane 4. The only thing is that it has no neutral base, so if OP with their strong infantry play can hold out in a war of attrition, then they might actually get the momentum against us. But yeah, we will see. Of course, we always go for the win.
Whoa, are you telling them how to beat you? Yo, you're not supposed to do that. They're gonna be watching this interview. You just give them all the secrets.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah,
We'll have
thanks
to
for streaming,
supplement
guys.
it with some Banshee.
So to both teams again, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure to watch and cast. To the viewers, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to quickly find my way to the ongoing WFAT game, and I'll jump on as co-caster with Atipic, and hopefully for the guys in the viewer chat, there's still some more LaneSmash for you guys to see. Unless Dominus has anything else to ask. I think we can...
No, that's it. Thank you. Thanks everyone for playing, and Dotso, thank you for casting.
No
Yeah,
problem.
thanks for
for
streaming,
streaming.
guys. GG.
GG's.
GG.